Sims, interesting first half, a 3-0 score. Everything we didn't expect.
Hey, shocking. I mean, that's what it is. And I think the coaches said it. Wind is a great equalizer. And that's what we've seen in the first half. You're at halftime. What you talk about, don't turn the ball over. Just make sure you hold on to it. Don't try to make plays because that could be the difference, the fumble.
Take a look at the halftime statistics from the first half. And, boy, one of the amazing things, the New York Jets ran just 8 times. Look at the passing yardage, 217 yards for the Jets, just 25 for the Denver Broncos. The 2 Jets turnovers, very costly. They lead it by a score of 3-0. Teams are getting ready now for the start of the second half, and the Jets will kick it away to the Denver Broncos. Do you think it was a quiet, subdued locker room on each side, Phil?
You know, Greg, I think it was, because I think they're both in shock. I mean, I think really, no matter how you look at it, they go, well, I know it's windy, it's this and that, but still they expect to be able to execute and do the simple things and just not controlling the football by both teams stop them from scoring.
Terrell Davis, 14 carries, 75 yards in the first half, but maybe the biggest difference of all, John Elway, 4 out of 14 for just 33 yards.
Denver wanted to run the football. They tried. They had some success. But the thing is, when they tried to take advantage of the fact that they were running the football well, nothing was open for John Elway to throw the football to. So couldn't make those drives, couldn't score because of the defensive backs of the New York Jets.
Vaughn Hebron is deep for the Broncos, and he will watch the ball bounce in the end zone, and he will not run it out. Let's check in with our sideline reporters, beginning with Armin Katayan. Armin.
Greg, talk to Mike Shanahan. No big surprises, no big changes for the Broncos. They have the win in the third quarter. Look for them to open it up and try to win this game right now. Now over to Bonnie.
Bill Parcells seems pretty happy all around. He said his defense is playing great, and he's actually pretty happy with the way the offense is moving the ball. He said, give or take, a couple weather-related fumbles and miscues. We'd be right in this. Greg?
All right, Bonnie. First down for the Broncos from their own 20-yard line. And he'll go right to the air. Incomplete. The ball sailing over Rod Smith, the intended receiver.
John Elway struggling with the elements, the wind, the ball not the grip he wants. That's why the ball's getting away from him. It did there. But I thought Armin said something was very important. The Broncos have the win. And now when you get in the second half of a game, you know, the loser's out. You've got to, the strategy is very important. So now you got to take advantage of it while you have it behind your back.
On 2nd and 10, Davis, right side. A little bit of running room, about 4 yards on the play. You know, we've been talking all week long. Heck, this is the 8th time we've seen the Denver Broncos this year. We've been talking all season long about how do you stop Terrell Davis. The answer is probably you don't stop him. You just try to contain him a little bit.
Try to get, you know, Greg, that is exactly right. And don't over pursue. Don't be, like we said, don't try to be a star. That way they can't use those play-action passes and really move the ball down the field.
Elway from the shotgun on 3rd and 5. Quick pass, incomplete, intended for Rod Smith, and Ray Mickens was right there to make the play for the Jet cornerback.
Now, the one thing the New York Jets, we said it earlier in the show, on 3rd down, especially when you're throwing short passes, trying to pick up the first downs, they do a terrific job of defending those passes. And the best one I've seen with the Jets, and maybe in the National Football League doing that, Ray Mickens, number 24.
Dave Meggett deep for the punt from Ruin. End over end, way out of bounds, up near midfield. It's not a terrific punt. It will be terrific field position for the New York Jets when we come back. Bernstein and the rest of our crack crew at Mile High Stadium. The Jets with their first possession here in the third quarter, first down from their own 45-yard line. They lead 3-0. You saw the flags atop the upright. The wind has been a factor here today. Testaverde with the screen for Curtis Martin. Martin midfield. Tracked down at the 40-yard line, and a penalty marker flies. Romanowski delivering another big hit for the Broncos. And Romo gets up staggered.
Well, that is having just no regard for your body, and he just went down there and threw it into Curtis Martin, and it was a ferocious hit.
Offense, number 62, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
That's going to cost the Jets left guard Todd Berger.
Bill Romanowski is all the way to the left. He sees the screen play, watch the hustle, comes across the field. The New York Jets, a terrific screen team, and look at this hit. Just give it up, and Bill Romanowski, we talked to him on Friday. Look at Curtis Martin, he's protecting that football. But what did he say to us Friday? He goes, I hate everybody in the opposing uniform. And he means it in a good way. That's what you want in a football player, and he has a couple rules. What was one rule? Never help the opposing player up after you knock him down.
And don't be a teammate of his either. Who does that? First down. Testaverde, ball tipped. Keyshawn Johnson couldn't reach it, and it falls incomplete. You know, when we saw Romo on Friday, I kept, he has to be in the best shape of his football career.
Well, he is. He works at it year-round. He's just a student of the game mentally and just takes care of his body and works hard. And you can see it. Always running around. Big tackle on Curtis Martin on a screen play. Stops Keyshawn Johnson from getting a first down. Caused the fumble by Keith Byers.
He's still shaking the cobwebs on the bench as the Jets look at 2nd and 10. Martin gets nowhere. Number 51, John Mobley, tackles him for a 1-yard loss.
Well, the New York Jets, I mean, they've gotten to the point, you just run the football to try to keep some rhythm in the game, to let the quarterback keep the defense somewhat honest. That's what you want to do. But that time, nobody even blocks John Mobley on the outside. Matt O'Dwyer, the right guard, pulling around. You got to pick up that first color of the opposite team and block them no matter where they're at. That's the line coach, Bill Muir, talking to Coach Parcells and trying to plead his case.
3rd and 11. The Jets 1 of 4 for 8 yards or more on 3rd down. Testaverde rolls, throws, and it is incomplete. Intended for Corbett. He had enough for the first down, but couldn't come up with the catch.
Well, it was a good throw, good try by the quarterback, Vinny Testaverde. Throw it down where only your guy can catch it. Wayne Corbett, zone defense, just find an open space. He does it. Tries to make the catch, but it goes between his arms.
And so John Kidd to kick to Darian Gordon. End over end, bounces at the 20. Gonna roll inside the 10. This will be pretty good for the New York Jets and their fans on hand, but a penalty marker is down. Way back upfield, where 54 Dwayne Gordon but it's going to be against the Broncos.
Holding, kicking team number 42 during the kick, half the distance to the goal.
That's Marcus Coleman.
Number 42. Denver keeps the ball, first down.
So it'll be first down, and the Broncos will be very deep in their own territory when we come back. Once again, our aerial coverage being provided today by Southwest Airlines. 12:29 to play, third quarter. The Broncos to start from their own 2-yard line.
That must be fun up in that blimp on a windy day. Yeah, that's just what I like to do. Get blown around.
That's why we're mighty appreciative. First down, play action, Elway throws, and another one deflected at the line of scrimmage. The fourth one today, and this one again from Mo Lewis.
Well, Mo Lewis, he's like Bill Romanowski for the New York Jets. He is everywhere, knocking down passes. Number 57 gets away from Terrell Davis, gets up. And the New York Jets, we said it earlier, they do not rush the passer. They're not great at it, but they do knock a lot of passes down by being smart, waiting for the quarterback to commit, then raise your arms.
Second down, quick drop, quick throw, incomplete. McCaffrey had it and lost it.
Either that ball was tipped or he couldn't see because of the sunlight. Look, there right there, you could see Ed McCaffrey coming across, and you could see the sunlight on his face. The ball is not tipped. Oh, yes, absolutely. He lost that ball completely in the sun. He is blinded after it hits him. He has no idea where it is. And there's the spot he tried to catch the football. Tough job for Ed McCaffrey.
3rd and 10. McCaffrey in motion. Elway pulls it down. Now throws complete to Dwayne Cardwell. And Cardwell pulled down short of the 10-yard line. That will be not enough for a first down. And the Broncos will have to kick it out of their own end zone.
Greg, something I didn't expect to see today. I thought John Elway would have all day to throw the football. But the Jets, not that they're sacking him or hitting him, but they're moving the offensive lineman back. They're getting in his face. He's having a hard time looking down the field and throwing the ball accurately.
We talk about stopping the Broncos and stopping Terrell Davis, but the 2 games, the regular season games the Broncos lost, it was John Elway who really had pretty tough games throwing the football.
Will take over deep in Denver territory. Blake Spence, number 82.
Well, they had one blocked earlier in the day, and it was a good job by Glenn Contreras stopping it. And this time, Blake Spence. Let's see where he comes from. The Broncos again miss it. Blake Spence coming untouched. They get confused. The Jets put a lot of people down inside. They leave the backup tight end free, comes through and does a good job of not going too far and blocking the punt.
Tight ends converge. Blake Spence blocked it, the rookie out of Oregon. 6th-year tight end Fred Baxter recovered. And the Jets with the ball at the 1.5-yard line. 1st and goal. Curtis Martin, touchdown.
And Greg, the one thing I noticed right there that time was when Vinny Testaverde was underneath the center on the 1/2-yard line, because of the pace of play today and what we're watching, no crowd noise. And that's usually where it's the worst, coming out of the end zone or going into it. Communication was not a problem for the New York Jets.
Curtis Martin with 8 rushing touchdowns on the season and 1 through the air, goes the 1/2 yard into the end zone. Hall out of his hole is good. Talk about turnovers in playoff games being critical. The blocked punt leads to the Jet touchdown and a 10-0 lead. Comes up with the biggest play of this game so far. The blocked punt, which gave the Jets the ball at the 1/2-yard line, and Curtis Martin converted. 10-0 Jets. Vaughn Hebron to the 20, to 30, across the 35 and out to the 36. Let's go back to the touchdown.
Risky play for the New York Jets. Trevor Price almost tackles Curtis Martin in the end zone for about a 3-4-yard loss, but he makes a good run, and Kevin Mawai, the center, number 68, in the middle, gets Keith Traylor. Tough block, gets him down to the ground, and he knows it's a touchdown.
Meanwhile, Jets fans will find that a familiar sight. Well, maybe not the hugs, but certainly Fireman Ed.
Yeah, he won't be doing that cheer in this stadium.
Elway sending his receivers back from whence they came. Play fake. All kinds of time. Going long, McCaffrey. Inside the 20 to the Jets 16-yard line.
The New York Jets blow the coverage. They have it. They have the perfect coverage. The safety. Watch this come across. The safety come up. Then Ed McCaffrey gets behind it. Here he comes. He comes up. Ed McCaffrey goes behind. John Elway sees it. Big passing play. Boy, and Ed McCaffrey does a good job of making sure of the catch when you're wide open.
Terrell Davis, left side. He's what you call running downhill.
Greg, that's exactly what I thought. That was running downhill, and it was out of control, too. Victor Green, number 21. Watch Terrell Davis. I mean, when he turns it up, here he comes. Victor Green, number 21, just got enough on him to bring him down.
Neil Smith, you betcha. Neil Smith had a 79-yard return of a fumble for a touchdown against the Dolphins last week. On second down. All kinds of time. Elway throws. Touchdown. Howard Griffin.
Well, all of a sudden, John Elway has found out how to throw this football. This is throwing it in some tight corners, puts a lot of heat on it. Corbin Brown, number 44, saw the play, but because of the speed of the throw, couldn't get there in time to make the play.
Elam for the extra point. And it's good. The Jet lead is down to 3. Did you really think on his final appearance at Mile High Stadium you'd hold number 7 down for... This will be big.
The wind held it up right from the start.
The Broncos have it. It took a Denver bounce, and the Broncos were there when it came down.
What happened is Jason Elam went to kick the ball hard, and he got underneath it. The ball was spinning really hard, harder than normal, and it made it stay up in the air longer. And it lands about 20 to 25 yards short of where it usually would go.
When all is said and done, number 56, Keith Burns, comes up with the ball. The Broncos now first down at the Jet 31. Davis. Inside the 30 to about the 27. The turnaround for the Broncos came after the Jet touchdown. Vaughn Hebron's kickoff return had an excellent field position. Then the long pass to McCaffrey, a little change of pace run for Terrell Davis, and then the touchdown pass to Griffin.
You remember the long throw that we saw with the Denver Broncos? The Jets had 2 safeties back there all day long in passing situations. They've had one and the other one inside. They changed up. The Broncos guessed right. That gave them a big play.
Davis to the right side. Penalty marker flag. This will be a holding call against the Broncos. As I watched the hold develop, Ed Hockley was searching his back pocket for the penalty marker.
Well, he couldn't get his hands on that flag. He was searching and searching.
Number 89, 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
It's the tight end, Dwayne Carswell.
It's on. He's blocking Mo Lewis. Number 57, number 89, Dwayne Carswell. Mo Lewis trying to go up the field. Look at that grip. And when you see, well, you can see the jersey being pulled. But when the defender gets turned, when they turn them, then you know the only way you can do that is you have to have a grip of that jersey.
Now that's a hold.
That was a good one.
It's a strong one.
It was worth 10.
Both teams penalized 4 times for about the same amount of yardage. 2nd and 15. Derek Lavelle is in the backfield for Denver. And he takes the pass and drops it.
That was a good example that time, Greg. Finesse throws a little hard right now in this wind. You want to have some success throwing the football, just get back there and use some power.
By our count, that is 5 Denver dropped passes today. Third and long, and with 8 or more yards to go, the Broncos have come up empty in 3 tries today. 9:05 to play, third quarter. Smith made the catch. 10-yard pickup, and that's short of a first down, and onto the field comes Jason Elam.
But it's enough yards to bring the field goal kicker on the field. If they wouldn't have picked up any positive yards there, I think Mike Shanahan would have punted the football, because the wind, it looked like it was going to die down, but now it's extremely gusty on the field. Blowing my hair up here in the booth.
This will be a 44-yard field goal attempt. The flags are still atop the uprights right now. The place down, the kick, it's straight enough, it is long enough, and it's good. Keith Burns recovered the errant kickoff, and we now have a 10-10 tie. Broncos, with the 44-yard field goal by that man, pull into a 10-10 tie. 8:23 to play in the third. Dave Meggett, one of the deep men. Meggett at the 1. And not much further than the 15-yard line. Keith Burns, who recovered the kickoff last time, makes the tackle. Was it a big field goal for the Broncos in their state of mind? Watch Jason Elam from 44 yards out. Yeah. And did Mike Shanahan been down 10 points, and all of a sudden his guys are even at 10. First and 10, Jets, their own 17. Here comes the crowd.
Now the crowd is back into it.
This will not count. Penalty marker on the play. And this will be a false start against the Jets, it would appear.
Before the ball was snapped, false start, offense number 76. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's Jumbo Elliott. You know, I saw one of the players getting feisty down there is Kevin Mawai. He's a feisty kind of guy. We had a chat with him yesterday.
Well, I'd be feisty too if I was 6'4" and 305, you know, but what has happened with Kevin Mawai and this offensive line, he has settled it down. He's a terrific player, one of the best centers in the league, and he's a leader, so he's held them together.
First and 15. Quick pass, Keyshawn Johnson tries to turn it upfield, but he is tackled on the play by Ray Crockett, number 39.
Greg, I said it earlier, the one thing that you've got to be impressed with the last 2 weeks, when we've watched this Bronco defense, people always have a tendency to say they can be taken advantage of, but terrific tackling down the field. Keyshawn Johnson, tough to bring down, but when these receivers are catching it, the defenders are bringing them down right away, no extra yards.
Pick up a 5 on the play. They're back to the original line of scrimmage. It's 2nd and 10. On the draw. Not much there from Martin, maybe a yard.
Did you see how long it took Vinny Testaverde to snap that football? What they were doing, spread them out. They spread the defense out, and if the defense spreads with you, then they have a running play.
Vinny Testaverde checking his wristband. He has every offensive play in the game plan for today on that list.
And that is 105 plays written on that list. Greg, if you tried to read that, you need binoculars.
Need them anyway.
Yeah.
3rd and 9. Quick pass. Dietrich Ward out across the 20. A pickup of about 4. That's not enough for a first down. Alfred Williams made the stop.
Defensive line, that's the key for the Denver Broncos. They move around. They stop the running game. They've done that today. And that time the screenplay is set up. It's going to pick up a first down, but Alfred Williams gets off the pass rush, turns around, and makes the tackle before the first down.
John Kidd. Darian Gordon from the 33. Knocked out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. 45-yard punt, 11-yard return. And now the Broncos go back to work on offense, and that means number 7. talking to Gary Kubiak, who it appears headed to the University of Colorado as their head coach.
That's what we hear. Gary Kubiak, the offensive coordinator, helps Mike Shanahan with the offense. Been rumored to take the University of Colorado job as early as tomorrow. Came in the league the same year with John Elway. Drafted the same year, roommates. Now he's coaching him, helped coordinate the offense, and he's done a terrific job.
Meanwhile, here is the Mile High hero as he takes over with a tie game, play action.
Pepper Johnson chasing him, and Elway throws it away. On the Jets sideline, a few words. Breather for the offensive line. There's Kevin Mawai, number 68.
You know, the one thing I like about the Denver Broncos when I watch their football team, especially on offense, when you got a good running game, and we talked with Mike Shanahan about this on, yesterday morning, when they fake the run, when John Elway drops back and moves, they're looking for some yards. None of that 5 and 10 yard stuff. They want some 20 and 30 yard gashes.
Straight drop, Elway. Throws near sideline, complete. Rod Smith has enough for the first down.
Well, the Denver Broncos are now starting to take advantage of the things the Jets wanted to make them do, and that's throw the football outside. Take away the middle. Ray Mickens a little late on the coverage, but he plays it smart. Don't give up the big play, and then try to react to the throw underneath. And Rod Smith does a good job. He has progressed so much as a football player, as a wide receiver, where he's one of the top 15 wide receivers in the league.
Davis to the 40. And after a shaky first half, John Elway appears to have found some rhythm to his passing game.
Well, it takes that one big play sometimes to get a quarterback going. But, you know, Greg, talking about Rod Smith, we talked about him with him a couple weeks ago. And remember what he said? With the Missouri Southern, had 3 majors when he was in college. Let's see if I can remember what they were. Economics, marketing, and business. And he said, you know, I was kind of a nerd in college. And I said, boy, don't apologize for 3 majors.
Terrell Davis to the Jet 20-yard line.
yards, a burst that puts him over the 100-yard mark here today.
The Denver Broncos have been going outside with Terrell Davis, and this time they fake the pass. It's a draw play. The defense just hesitates for a second, and he gets through there. And watch Tom Nalen. Oh, and Dan Neal, good job. Tom Nalen coming off of one block and then picking up Brian Cox with the second block.
Davis again. Inside the 20. Well, we talked about Davis's patience as a runner. He took a little hop and a skip prior to his 20-yard burst. 115 yards on the day. The 13th time this season he's up over 100 yards rushing. And 6 consecutive 100-yard games in the postseason. Ties in with John Riggins.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, if you hold this guy, if you hold Terrell Davis, you keep him under 120 now.
Elway going to throw. Over the middle. Incomplete. Shannon Sharp hit at the goal line by Corwin Brown. And both players are still down. And a pretty heavy-duty collision seems to have taken its toll on both players.
Well, the safety's in the middle. John Elway trying to stick it in there before the safety can make the play. Good effort by Shannon Sharp. And Corwin Brown, number 44, does the right thing. He does not lead with the helmet. He comes in, hits him with the shoulder.
See the hit delivered by Corwin Brown, and number 21, Victor Green, running right along with Shannon Sharp, told us last night that he works out with Shannon during the offseason.
They work out down at Grady High School in Atlanta during the offseason, and that shows a lot of courage, toughness, and smartness by Corwin Brown going in there and doing the tackle the proper way.
Shannon Sharp walking off to this side of the field. Corwin Brown reaches the sideline at the other side of the field. 42, Marcus Coleman, has come on to the field now for the Jets. And Dwayne Carswell, number 86, or make it Byron Chamberlain, number 86, will go on to the field for Denver. John Elway, turnaround has been a little bit, although he's only 5 of 12 here in the second half. He has thrown the ball much better.
And they're throwing it down the field, Greg. When you throw it down the field, you're not going to hit as high a percentage. And that's one of the reasons why he's only 5 of 12.
3rd and 9. Elway. And now has to eat it and falls at the 30-yard line. Second sack of the day for the Jets defense. Chad Cascadden, Brian Cox converged.
Most teams, this would take you out of field goal range. But with Jason Elam, you see Mike Shanahan laughing. How can he get mad? John Elway has made hundreds of plays, buying time, moving around. And that time, the Jets just do a good job of covering the receivers down the field.
Elam was good from 44 yards out. This one is a 48-yard attempt. On the way, and it is good. Jason Elam hit 58 of 58 extra point attempts during the regular season, 23 of 27 field goals, including one from 63 yards. This is just a little over 48-yarder in the wind.
Just a 48-yarder with wind blowing across. We don't know where it's going. And he just hammers this football, and he played to win. It went right to left.
And on the sideline, Mike Shanahan watching, urging. And for the first time today, Shanahan and the Broncos are in the lead at 13-10. In fact, the Broncos have scored 13 unanswered points as thunder takes a rest. Vinny Testaverde now getting ready to go back to work as soon as the Jets reacquire possession. 2:58 to play here in the third quarter.
Well, Denver, we're getting the first quarter assault. We're getting in the third quarter. And what we're also seeing, the New York Jets really withstood a series of events there. They could have blown them out of the football game, but they hung in there, and they're only down 13-10.
Kevin Williams, Dave Meggett, deep. Another short kick.
Not going to get there.
Meggett, 25. And it's down at the 25-yard line. Or the 20, make it. While we have a moment, let's remind you, tonight on Watch Network.
What we have seen the last few series from the New York Jets, the inability to run the football is just putting too much pressure on the quarterbacks and the receivers, and now the rush is starting to get to Vinny Testaverde.
Time to throw down the middle. Johnson incomplete. Terrific coverage by Darian Gordon, number 21.
Darian Gordon is all over Keyshawn Johnson. The Denver Broncos have done a good job of taking Keyshawn Johnson out of the passing game down the field. Perfect throw by Vinny Testaverde, but even if Keyshawn Johnson catches it, he is going to take a big hit. And Darian Gordon done a good job of covering and a good job of tackling so far today.
You talked about the inability to run the ball. Look at the Jets' total yardage here in the second half, 19. But the Jets have run the ball just 11 times today. Not much there. Marvin Washington leading the charge on Curtis Martin.
And Greg, what we're seeing, and it's, we said it earlier, it's hard to believe it, but this is a finesse offense. And they like to move their offensive linemen to get angles to create easy blocks for them. And when you're playing a defensive front that moves around and is athletic, they don't stand still. It makes it hard, and that's why Curtis Martin, he can't get back to the line of scrimmage.
Average yards to go on third down. The Jets have had longer yardage to deal with than the Broncos. 3rd and 8. Keyshawn Johnson incomplete, wants a penalty flag. There is none forthcoming. Johnson appeared to be bumped before the ball got there.
Keyshawn Johnson, top of the screen. Here he comes inside. 3rd and 8. The defender, Darius Johnson, absolutely gets there before the football is thrown. It does not give Keyshawn Johnson a chance to catch the football. Should have been a penalty.
It is not. Kidd will kick. And a decent kick. Darian Gordon from the 26. Cuts it outside. Midfield. 40. Inside the Jet 40 to the 37-yard line. 50-yard punt, 36-yard return.
Terrific job of selling the return. He went inside, he stayed inside, and at the last second, he broke around the left corner. Watch Darian Gordon. Gonna go up, here he is, and he waits. Did you see that? He waits for the last second to break it out. That enables him to get outside the coverage and pick up all those yards.
Kidd helping out with the tackle, but now Elway goes to work first down at the Jet 38-yard line. A minute 42 to play in the third. Davis to the 35 to the 34-yard line.
And Greg, the wind has been swirling, so I have a hard time. Sometimes I look up, it looks like it's behind the Broncos, but right now it's somewhat, it looks like it's behind them right now. A minute 24 to go in the quarter. I would try to watch my play call, and in case I have to kick a field goal, I could use the wind.
Field position has been terrific for the Broncos. On their last 3 drives, they've begun at the Jet 31, at their own 44, and this one at the Jet 38. The toss. Davis to the 30. Mo Lewis, Anthony Pleasant with the tackle.
Greg, if you made me pick an outstanding player in the game, I think it has to be Mo Lewis. I mean, he has been terrific in rushing the quarterback, knocking passes down, and stopping the run. Again, outside, makes Terrell Davis cut inside, and then reaches out with his left arm and makes the tackle.
Fighting off the block from Tony Jones. Clock continues to move. We come up on half a minute to play here in the third quarter. 3rd and 3. The CBS first down line shows you how far the Broncos need to go for a first down. Davis. First down and more. 15, 10, touchdown. Through scoring on 4 consecutive drives and scoring 20 points here in the third quarter.
As we watch this, it's almost hard to believe now that they were shut out in the first half.
So the Jets will get it started 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. And Bill Parcells and Vinny Testaverde will try to figure out how to recapture some of that momentum, which has definitely gone over now to the Denver Broncos.
Well, I'll tell you something they're not going to find on that sheet. That's a running play that's going to work. I mean, so far today, how many times have we seen Curtis Martin even get a chance to find a hole to run up in there and get some positive yards? So what you have to do if you're the New York Jets, you've got to complete some passes, get Denver's defense off guard a little, and then sneak a running play in there.
Testaverde throws complete for Beck. First down yardage across the 30, and that will bring the quarter to an end. That's the end of the third quarter with the score. The Broncos 20 and the Jets 10. We're coming back after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS, and that man's final 15 minutes of a great career at Mile High. For the right to meet the Atlanta Falcons in Miami in Super Bowl 33, the AFC Championship game. We begin quarter number 4. 1st and 10 for the Jets from their own 31. Testaverde throwing sideline, incomplete, almost intercepted by Steve Atwater.
Vinny Testaverde gets away with one here. Steve Atwater did not go for the look off to the left. He has a chance to intercept it. Doesn't quite come up with the catch. Been a player, done it for a long time, big hitter, and you remember early in the year, Mike Shanahan was taking him out in some situations and resting him. Steve Atwater was a little upset about it. Mike Shanahan says, well, maybe that's one of the reasons why I did it. I want to give him some stimulation, make him play a little harder.
Testaverde. Screen to Keyshawn Johnson. Can't get free. And is dragged down short of the 30-yard line by John Mobley. Loss of 2 yards on the play.
Mike Shanahan was telling us yesterday he thinks the New York Jets are the best team in professional football when it comes to throwing screens. This time it's to a wide receiver, Keyshawn Johnson, but a good job. Keith Traylor makes Keyshawn Johnson stay in the backfield, make a move, takes too long.
We asked him about, well, how many screens do you think they have? He said, a lot.
A lot. The Jets apparently for this game have up to 12 screens ready, but none of them have really worked today.
Testaverde with time, over the middle, Johnson, midfield, and more. At the 46-yard line of the Denver Broncos. Ray Crockett helping out on the stop, but that's enough for a Jet first down.
This is something the Jets need to do a little more of, is go down the field. When you throw down the field on the Denver Broncos, it just creates more space for the wide receivers. It spreads the defense, and look how wide open Keyshawn Johnson is down the middle.
So now the Jets get a little bit of momentum back. At the Denver 46, first down, 13.5 minutes still to play. Testaverde over the middle, complete, inside the 30, loose football. Romanowski falls on it. First down, Denver. The Jets turn it over for the 4th time today. You just can't do that in the postseason.
Well, sometimes there's no reason to turn the football over, but it comes from this. Look at the middle again, wide open. But we talked about it, Alex Van Dyke inside. Look at the hit by Steve Atwater. We said this Denver Bronco team, especially over the last 2 weeks, they've been making good tackles, hitting people down the field. Bill Romanowski hustling, picks up the loose ball.
First down to the 28. The turnover story heavily favors the Broncos. Terrell Davis. Now, penalty marker flies in the backfield. And it's going to be a hold on the Broncos. This is the time of the day, and Romo's pretty happy about how things are going. This is the time of day. We talked earlier how Terrell Davis runs so well.
Holding. Offense number 29. 10-yard penalty. Could be first down.
In the first quarter, his second best quarter of the day is the fourth quarter. And on the field, looks like it might be Corwin Brown. We'll check it out when we come back. Throws far side. Rod Smith out of bounds across the 30 to about the 32-33 yard line. 15-yard pickup. Bill Parcells has had his share of worries and a concern. Turnover early on. Curtis Martin, the fumble, recovered by the Broncos. And then Keith Byers lost the ball. Then an errant kickoff was mishandled by the Jets, and then Alex Van Dyke losing it there. The hit by Atwater, the recover by Romanowski. Terrell Davis. First down yardage.
Well, the mark of a really good running football team. Look what Terrell Davis has done so far this year, including the playoffs. The highest ever in the NFL. But you know you can run the football when you can run it well. And that means in situations like this, right now, you want to run the ball. Of course, you want to score. You want to eat time. All those things. Now you'll see what the Denver Broncos, how good a running football team they are.
Down the stretch of this season and into the playoffs, we made it a habit of asking players how you feel. We say they're a little tired. That kind of rush total, it's no wonder Terrell Davis is a little winded. Elway throws, has his man over the middle at midfield. It's Ron Chamberlain, the tight end. Byron Chamberlain has a 17-yard pickup, and that's another Denver first down.
Probably the first time all day on a play-action pass that the New York Jets defense got out of position and left somebody uncovered. They gave up a long one. That's just because they went for the wrong guy. But this time, they were fooled by the run fake. Byron Chamberlain coming across. Look at him. Nobody on him. John Elway sees him. He does a really good job of slowing down, not running the defense, and then catching the ball.
From the 45, Davis. And Ryan Cox meets him head-on at the line of scrimmage. No gain. What a turnaround by this Broncos team from the first half. Denver was shut out in the first half of a football game for the first time since September of 1993 in a game at Kansas City.
And as you watch Terrell Davis run that football, don't think he's going to fumble it. Because what did he tell us? He goes, I have a pre-snap routine. And there's two things I think of. Squeeze the ball hard and then run hard. And those two things, and that's one of the reasons why he puts two hands on it almost every single time when he runs into the tackle.
Play fake, Elway down the sideline. Incomplete. Rod Smith, the intended receiver. Otis Smith was there stride for stride.
Greg, we talked about in the first half, the New York Jets usually make you throw the football in the middle of the field, but since the Broncos like that so much, they changed their coverages. They're making them throw it outside. The Broncos have done a good job of adjusting, trying to throw it down the field. A few plays early, they hit Rod Smith on the outcut. They figured it out. Mike Shanahan, he knows how to make a few adjustments and call different plays to give his offense the best chance to make plays.
8 or more yards to go, 1 out of 5 on third down conversion. Elway looks at one now, steps up, rolling, and is pulled down behind the line of scrimmage. Another sack for the Jet defense. James Farrier comes up with it. That's the third of the day for the Jets.
So John Elway breaks the pocket. What do you think? Watch out.
Another running back on the field.
Well, and here comes the ball down the field, a big pass play, but the Jets have stayed with receivers and done a good job of covering them once John Elway breaks containment.
High snap, Bruin pulls it down and gets it away. Great job by the Denver punter. Look at the bounce he gets. Inside the 10, down to the 5-yard line. 42-yard punt, and Tom Bruin gets some well-deserved congratulations. 9:56 to play here in regulation.
Ford Taurus. Ford, built to last. United Airlines. Rising is a daily commitment to making flying more civilized. United is rising. And by IBM, are you ready for e-business?
A gorgeous mile-high sunset in progress. The Jets starting from their own 6. 299 total yards for each team, but a 10-point difference on the scoreboard. Testaverde going to go down the middle and blocked down. Locked down on the way by John Mobley, number 51. We remind you, tonight on 60 Minutes, what do many military wives have in common? They're victims of domestic violence running rampant on military bases. 60 Minutes tonight here on CBS, America's most watched network. Those of you tuning in looking for 60 Minutes, you're watching the AFC Championship game. And 60 Minutes will follow our post-game report. Second and 10. Testaverde, this side, complete. And that's enough for a first down to Dedrick Ward. We've always talked about the strength of Vinny Testaverde's arm. That's a pretty good throw.
Well, watch the Denver Broncos. They're going to double team the backside receiver. That time they had somebody looking for that deep end cut. But the New York Jets do a good job of changing up. And Dedrick Ward goes down, fakes in, breaks back out. Nobody there to cover him. They're expecting that backside in cut that they hit a couple times.
First down now from their own 20. Testaverde going to go down the sideline and way overthrowing his intended receiver, Dedrick Ward.
Early early in the game, receivers were open for the New York Jets. In fact, there was more than one open every single play. But what has happened, since you cannot run the football and there's no threat of running the football, it becomes easier for the secondary to cover. Greg Robinson's going, well, let's don't worry about the run. I'm just calling defenses that are going to stop the pass. And now what you're doing, safeties, they don't worry about coming up and stopping Curtis Martin. They're looking for receivers to hit over the middle.
Jets 12 carries for those 13 yards rushing. Testaverde has all kinds of time and now throws it out in the flat. Kyle Brady, and Brady to about the 28-yard line. Romanowski and Crockett there to make the tackle. It'll be about 2 yards for a first down.
When you catch passes like that, know where you're at on the football field. Try to get the first down, because the Jets, they've shown these third down situations. They've missed a couple short ones today, and it's probably still too early in the game to go for it on fourth down.
The CBS first down line shows you how far the Jets have to go. 0 for 1 in this situation. Martin is not going to get there.
They could go for this. 8:26 to go. You're 2 scores down. Nope, Bill Parcells
Sends his punting unit onto the field.
That's why those catches, when the receivers are getting them out in the flats, it's important to go forward and get that extra yard. Keyshawn Johnson did it early in the game. Kyle Brady did this past time.
Darian Gordon is deep. Good kick by John Kidd. Gordon from the 18. Trying to escape tackles and can't do it. He's back inside his own 20-yard line. James Ferrier down there for the tackle. 53-yard punt and no return. 7:46. Guess what? John Elway back on. Darman Katayan, Bonnie Bernstein, Greg Gumbel back at Mile High Stadium. 60 minutes to follow this AFC Championship game and the post-game report. Whistles blow. This will not count. Although Davis takes the takedown anyway.
It's a 2-possession game now.
Before the snap, false start, offense, number 80, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's Rod Smith, the wide receiver.
Well, he saw the blitz by Otis Smith, and it scared him, trying to block him or whatever, so it made him move before the snap. But we're down to a 2-possession game. That's why Bill Parcells probably hesitated before he punted the football, because now he knows at best we're going to get 2 more chances. We'll have to score on both to get a chance to win or tie the game.
Davis held up at the 15-yard line. Terrell Davis has been every bit a workhorse.
Well, he has, and he has been the last couple of years, really kind of helping out John Elway. He has prolonged John Elway's career in the fact that Elway has been more productive, and it's been easier for him the last couple of years because they have such a well-rounded offense. Terrell running, and then when it calls for him to throw, they're able to protect him a little longer, make it easier on him.
It has been pretty well accepted here in Denver that this is Elway's last go-round. Talk about a rushing game. The Broncos do have that. Elway to throw. With time. Chamberlain. Pickup of 10 on the play. Getting back to John Elway, you know, you'd sit there and you talk with him as we did on Friday, and he's very relaxed. He's had himself another terrific season. You get the feeling that he could go on if he chose to do so.
I don't. I really don't get that feeling. I know he's relaxed. I think a lot of the reasons why.
I'm talking physically.
Physically, no. You know, I think last year I said he could. Right now, I think he's taken a lot of punishment. I can see it in his body. I hear it in his words. It's been a long career. He plays hard, throwing it, running it, and it is time for him to get out.
Elway waits for McCaffrey to make his break outside and hits it across the 35, and that'll be another first down for the Broncos.
But Greg, when we're talking about John Elway, that's what I sense in him. Just the relief that it's coming to an end. He knows it. Of course, he looks forward to these games, but finally he can kind of let down and just really enjoy what's happening and not worry about next week, this offseason, well, will I come back? All those things. He knows this is going to be it.
All right, well then let me take you back to a statement you made earlier this season where you said, you know, if you're quarterbacking a Mike Shanahan offense, you can just about play forever.
Well, you're right. I did say that, but he has taken some hits.
Davis, make it Derek Lavelle. Derek Lavelle in the game now and running the football.
What has changed? He's taken some injuries. Doesn't come back like he used to, but look at all these numbers from Elway. Second in completion, second in yards, third
in touchdown passes, and then 148 career wins.
Yeah, the most important thing, leads that win department. But talking about, we were talking, I asked John Elway that. A quarterback usually dies inside before outside. You just get tired of the grind, tired of preparing, worrying about the wins and losses.
Down the side, McCaffrey incomplete. He was in hand-to-hand combat with Marcus Coleman.
But you get tired of it, just the mental grind, and so you finally just say, I can't take any more. Watch Ed McCaffrey singled up on the outside. 6'5". This is what they like to do. Look at the hand fighting going on, but the wind just takes the ball too far.
Ed McCaffrey, former teammate of yours.
Yeah, big Ed.
In fact, we talked with Bill Parcells last night. He said, yeah, you drafted him. And Bill said, yes, but I wasn't around to see him play.
Well, he was a good player for the New York Giants. Most people didn't want him to go. He turned out to be a terrific player for the Broncos.
Third down. Elway pulls it down, buys himself some time, and throws it away.
And so the Jets will get a chance to get the ball back now with just over 5 minutes to play in regulation, and they trail by 10. Another ex-teammate of yours.
Jumbo Elliott, left tackle for the Jets.
Why is everybody still playing and you're not?
Well, that's a good question. Lack of talent. Of course, I'm old enough to be Jumbo's daddy. That might have something to do with it too, Smarty.
Dave Meggett is deep.
End over end, bounces at the 25. Meggett will stay away from this one. It takes a Bronco bounce inside the 15 to the 12 or 13-yard line, and the Jets will start deep in their own end territory again with 4:51 to play.
Good morning. I'd like to cash in my miles for one ticket to Paris, France.
I'm sorry, sir. Your miles have expired.
I've been charging on my Visa card for years to earn this trip, and now I'm going to have to pay for the ticket. It happens. Paris.
Visa says you're over your limit.
Visa. It's everywhere you want to be. Oh, Paris. Have I told you what I've been through? I need a doctor. Je suis un espion. Espion? Espion! Espion! But Visa, can you at least help me find the doctor? How about a lawyer?
Visa says they're everywhere, but American Express helps you with just about everything. So you can always do more.
I do not get French fashion.
What is the value of victory? What makes success so sweet? At American General, we help over 12 million people every day live the lives they've imagined, with retirement services, life insurance, consumer loans, and whether they have big dreams or little dreams, the real victory is seeing their dreams come true. American General Financial Group. Live the life you imagined.
Can one woman save one man's soul?
I'm gonna die.
Susan Sarandon and Sean Penn.
Dead man walking.
Dead Man Walking. CBS tonight.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Bud Light. Make it a Bud Light. And by American Express. American Express helps you do more.
The terrific coverage of today's game from the air provided by Southwest Airlines, and it has been spectacular. 4:51 to play in regulation. Jets start from their own 13-yard line. Testaverde down the middle, receiver found down,
intercepted. Darian Gordon, the 20. And that may just wrap things up for the Denver Broncos.
Wayne Corbett was the receiver going down the middle. He slips and falls, it looks like, as he's trying to make the cut.
Little fake outside, going inside. Vinny Testaverde anticipating the throw. Does not see him fall down. Watch as he looks down the field. Wayne Corbett would have been right there, except he fell down.
Gordon was the leader for the Broncos with 4 interceptions this year.
Now the Jet defense, once again, must come through. They got to try to stop them, make them kick the field goal, so 2 touchdowns can still win you the game.
Terrell Davis, not much there.
Now the
Clock
Jets
moves now under 4.5 minutes to play.
What you got to do, manage the clock. You got to decide when you're going to call these timeouts. Of course, Denver's going to run it all the way down. The New York Jets, all 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. So there still is time.
Davis dancing to about the 15-yard line. And a timeout is called. That would be the first of the 3 that the Jets have, and it stops the clock with 3:47 to play here in the 4th quarter.
Well, Greg, we know the conditions have been tough for both teams, so that really talks about why it's been a lower scoring game. But also, we got to give credit to both sides. Both defenses they've come out and played tough, taken away the things the other offense likes to do, and both defenses have done a good job of tackling and hitting.
Meanwhile, a look at John Elway on the sideline. There you see Vinny Testaverde, but for John Elway and for these fans here at Mile High Stadium, this is truly the end of just a terrific era in the National Football League.
What reminds me, there's always going to be arguments about John Elway. Is he the greatest to ever play? Put him up there with a few other quarterbacks. Of course, one of them is Dan Marino, but physically, I think the best that's ever played when it comes to throwing and running and applying it to the football field.
The toss to Davis, tripped up, and he barely gets back. In fact, he lost a yard on the play, so Jason Elam will come onto the field. But Elway, I mean, is there a sane man with a vote who would not cast a first-round ballot for John Elway when he becomes eligible for the Hall of Fame?
Well, I hope not. Sometimes voting's a little funny, you never know. But he's going in. Just a question, will everybody vote for him, or will somebody hold out?
Meanwhile, the Jets burn their second timeout and stop the clock with 3:44 to play.
After watching this game, something that just popped in my mind that Mike Shanahan told us. To win the Super Bowl, the 3 things you got to do. Run the football, have a good, solid quarterback, and you got to play solid defense. The Broncos have shown that today. The Jets, no running game, that's been the difference.
Elam from 35 yards out is good. Elam has been good from 44, 48, and now 35 yards. And the Broncos lead increasing. We want to remind you tonight on CBS, what do many military wives have in common? They're victims of domestic violence.
I had the chance yesterday, all of them around the field, just throwing the football around and running in that. They deserve to retire. They did the right thing. Couldn't catch, couldn't run.
Anyone in particular?
Well, just I don't want to pick them out.
No.
Brent Jones comes to mind, but the Jets, what they have to do, get this football. They have 4 downs to to pick up first downs, keep it moving. You still have one timeout, the 2-minute warning, and then you try to onside kick if you score to get that last possession to try to tie the game or to try to win the game.
Short kick, picked off, and returned across the 40-yard line by Bobby Hamilton, a third-year D lineman out of Southern Mississippi. 3 minutes, 32 seconds from Miami. That's what the Denver Broncos are looking. Meanwhile, Vinny Testaverde, who has had such an outstanding season as the quarterback for the New York Jets.
And he came through today. Look at the numbers there. He has thrown the football extremely well. He's made good decisions. Wayne Corbett fell down in the interception, but he gave his team a chance every time the opportunity was there to make plays.
Far side, too short, incomplete, intended for Alex Van Dyke.
But Greg, we have said it, with no running game, all of a sudden it's amazing, isn't it, how good these defensive backs are getting, how they're covering better, how the pass rushers now, the defensive linemen can get to the quarterback.
And by the way, you just saw a shot there of Bill Parcells. Keep in mind, 2 seasons ago, these New York Jets were 1-15. That is a remarkable turnaround in anyone's book. 2nd and 10. This side, complete. Keyshawn Johnson out of bounds inside the 45. That's a first down for the Jets. 15 yards on the play. The AFC Championship back. The Jets, with just 14 yards today, are about to set a record that they would rather not.
Unless Vinny Testaverde takes off on a big scramble, which I doubt. He's looking for passing yards down the field.
Jets with one